The yellow crazy ant, or YCA, is an invasive species that has spread throughout the Pacific. At low abundances, the ants cause few problems. But in some environments, such as Atafu, Tokelau, the YCA populations have grown rapidly, and the ant has become a serious threat to the environment and agriculture, as well as a significant social pest.
I was born here and brought up in this place. I never see a situation like that before.
I left there was no such thing as ant problem here.
Yellow crazy ants just affect every single aspect of life on these islands. The ants are everywhere and there's just no escape.
There were many ants in the house during past few years, and it really disturbed their way of living in the family.
And I put my plate on the floor and I turned back to eat after Grace, and it was full of stuff. So I knew then it was a big problem.
You can't enjoy a meal because you constantly again have to worry about getting the ants away, because the second you're serving, there'll be hundreds on the table.
Yellow crazy ants are just as active at night as they are during the day, so there's no escape from the problems that these ants cause.
Even sleeping at night in bed, the ant will just...
When they sleep, ants crawl on their bodies, and when they eat, they see ants on their plates.
We are constantly woken up by the ants crawling around.
You feel like them crawling onto you.
They could crawl all over you the whole night through.
There was some cases on the other atolls where ants were crawling into babies' ears and mouths.
You wake up in the morning, the floor was just covered with ants.
Outside they can see many ants on the road too.
The ants don't just cause problems in people's homes. They also affect their ability to work, tend their stock, or harvest food.
So you can't even stand still like this. You have to keep moving and moving, keep slapping the ants crawling over your body. And
when they're disturbed, yellow crazy ants spray acid. Prolonged or repeated exposure to this acid can result in rashes and skin irritation.
The pigsty, it's full of ants, so when you walk onto the concrete track, they start crawling in you.
Likewise, when they're looking after the pigs, feeding them, the ants are all over the food, they're all over the pigs, and of course these ants spray acid, which is not going to be good for the animals that they're looking after.
Cleaning fish, coming back fishing, put your fish on the shore, load your stuff off. You can't. The ant will just get onto them very bad, eh?
My newly hatched chicks were killed off as soon as they were hatched, and I could lose all brood of chickens just by the devourance of the ants.
yeah, it's really difficult to work out especially at the bush where we work at the moment.
It's not just family life that's affected. Every aspect of day-to-day life is affected by these ants, from infrastructure, from doing work like rubbish collection, going to church, gathering food. Everything is affected by these ants.
A month ago we had a power, the whole village didn't have any power. Due to the ant damaged one of the power box. When the power guys arrived and opened up the fuse box, a whole lot of dead ant. So you're building up, and I think it blew one of the fuse.
We do our church service. There are times where we lose track of what the pastor is saying because we focus more on the ants crawling inside instead of, hearing the message from the pastor.
Yellow crazy ants are really hungry predators, so when they're at high abundance, they can wipe out populations of other insects, birds, lizards, crabs, and other animals.
I noted the effect on our environment and our animal life. crustaceans and crabs, birds. An example, I have a huge coconut crab that was eaten and devoured by the ants.
I see whole crabs dying on unusual places like just outside there.
They were seeing there was a decrease of population in terms of birds and other types of animals. And there was also a concern because some birds were migrating as well towards the village, which became also a problem. There was quite a few animals within the Vau area, like the birds, coconut crabs that you could just go and grab. But when the ants took over, there was nothing. Everything was just gone.
When I go and harvest coconuts and food, they are all over your legs, they are all over your body, and it's the most uncomfortable feeling.
The yellow crazy ant doesn't directly affect agriculture, but what they do is they farm insects that produce honeydew, and they protect these insects from other insects that might eat them. These honeydew-producing insects not only affect plant health directly, but they also carry diseases.
No one knows where the YCA came from. Some evidence suggests it may have originated in Asia. The ant has spread throughout the Pacific. These ants are hitchhikers, so often they'll travel on ships over long distances, accompanying cargo wherever humans go. A single queen is all it takes to start an invasion. She could be hiding in almost anything brought ashore. Fruit, vegetables, household goods, machinery, personal effects, anything. So it's important to check all high-risk items for YCA before they're allowed into the country. Once the ants have arrived, they can be spread with human help in movements of refuse, supplies or food from an infested area and colonize new territory. It doesn't take much to hide a queen or nest. It's better not to move anything from an infested area before it's treated. But if movement cannot be avoided, it's important to check everything that is transported out of the high-risk infested area for ants.
In remote Pacific Islands, the cost of management isn't just the cost of pesticides. There's also transporting the pesticides to the island, there's the cost of technical experts, and the time that villagers have to take to actually do the management. And that's time that could be better spent on more important things.
July 2015, Pacific Biosecurity and Flybusters Anti-Ants Consulting worked with the people of Otafu to treat the yellow crazy ant infestation. This treatment resulted in a greater than 95% reduction in the ant numbers throughout the islet. Life in the village returned to normal. But ant numbers must continue to be monitored in case they increase again. It took over 5 years to secure the funding for this project, and to date, the work on Tokelau has cost over $200,000 US. Eradication would probably cost over 10 times that amount. The cost of the impact to the people and environment in that 5 years cannot easily be measured. Effective biosecurity costs little, yet can protect communities in the Pacific from these problems caused by ants and other invasive species. Advice and help with improving biosecurity can be obtained from regional organisations like SPREP and SPC. Prevention is always better than cure.